Right, so Michelle the Bartender, a TikToker who quite frankly doesn't seem to value hers or her family's privacy in the single slightest.
He didn't sleep at all last night. I was like, good, as you shouldn't have.
I mean, the first video we saw from Michelle was when she spoke about a time where her husband went to the bar, got really drunk, brought a stranger to her house and nearly got robbed.
He was like gonna get in the car with these dudes that were gonna bring him home, and she was like, and I knew that these guys were gonna rob him.
Now obviously this video raised a lot of concern for a lot of people in the comments who were just worried for not only Michelle's safety here, but also her family's safety, right? She has a child at home. So a lot of people were advising Michelle to set up security cameras, you know, just to be safe, to which Michelle did, to be fair to her, but then also proceeded to show TikTok exactly where them security cameras were and how to avoid them. She's basically given a tutorial on how to avoid the cameras. It's a very strange video. Not only that, Michelle is very open about where she works. Now obviously judging by her name on TikTok, Michelle the Bartender, she's dubbed, you can tell she works in a bar, right? But not only does she let people know that she works in a bar, she tells everyone exactly which bar she works at.
I now work at Uncle Jesse's Honky Tonk.
Not only does she tell everyone the exact bar she works at, she mentions the hours that she works so you could easily tell when she's not home.
It's Thursday night and I'm working at Uncle Jesse's. It is 8 o'clock. We opened at 7.
And she also goes into TikTok to just insult customers for absolutely no reason.
We call that girl Crazy Water Bitch.
And even though there's an overwhelming amount of criticism in the comment sections of all these videos, right, because she is so open to the point that you could probably learn more about Michelle on her own TikTok account than you probably know about yourself. And even though there is this overwhelming amount of criticism over the past few months, it just hasn't changed. If anything, it's actually getting worse. Because just over the last week or so, Michelle decided to upload a video to TikTok which has now been deleted, literally just in the last couple of days, but it was up for at least a week. And I'm not going to show the exact video for obvious reasons, as we'll see in a second, but here is a video by a TikToker called Tea with Casey explaining what the video was.
Michelle The Bartender had made this video where she states it's for educational purposes, but it's about potty training her son. Now, it would be one thing if this video was just her saying hardships she was going through with potty training and maybe asking you guys questions on, you know, people who potty train their kids.
Which is what the video should be, realistically, right? If that's the type of video that Michelle wanted to make, it should just be a video of her talking to the camera and explaining a few things. It absolutely shouldn't have been what it ended up being.
She not only, you know, she puts her kid on camera, everyone has their own opinion on that, but then she puts him on camera while sitting on the toilet. She's asking him all these questions while she's doing it. I get for you, this is educational and, you know, sweet, whatever. You have it documented, but it doesn't seem to really have a grasp of how dangerous the internet can be.
It can be incredibly dangerous. There are some disgusting people on the internet, and for some reason a bunch of these like family vloggers just like to ignore that. I guess it's because they're earning a lot of money from these videos, so they don't care, that's their main priority. But how grim is that, to put money over the safety of your own children? I mean, look how many saves are on this video, right? 651 saves. Now, I don't feel like I should have to explain why that is incredibly worrying. You've got to think about the type of people that might have saved that video. Because again, this is something that we've seen before on a much bigger scale, actually. But quickly, while we're still in this video specifically, you can see why this could be extremely worrying, because as we can see by this Reddit post here, talking about the actual video itself, they have said, when I tell you my jaw dropped. Michelle filming her son struggling to go to the bathroom. Camera directly in his face, pants down, etc. How does TikTok allow this? Why would a mum post this? And obviously, as you can imagine, all the people on Reddit replying to this are also very worried. But it did actually remind me of a situation on TikTok that many people spoke about and were extremely worried about maybe like over a year ago at this point, it feels like. And it was all to do with the Ren Eleanor TikTok account, which was an account where a mum was posting videos of her child all the time. And in these videos, there were a worrying amount of not only saves, but a very worrying amount of comments too. I mean, looking at this video from Repzilla talking about this situation, he actually shows some of the comments that were left on these videos. As you can see, absolutely grim. You can see the number of saves on these videos. I mean, this one in particular has got nearly 400,000 saves. You can also see some of the most disgusting autofills on the searches, right? If you just type in Ren Eleanor, some of the autofills that come up are absolutely grim and extremely worrying again. And this was happening for so long, and the mum was just ignoring it for a long time, and she eventually responded to this and basically said there was nothing to worry about and these were false rumors.
TikTok analytics show that my followers are 76.8% female. That's more than 13 million females, including lots of moms.
I mean, what a pointless fact for a lot of reasons. She says there's like 70-odd% females that watch her videos, right? That's still quite a high percentage of males who are watching these videos, who a lot of them could be watching for the wrong reasons. Also, of course, there could be some women who watch it for the wrong reasons as well. But this account actually has 17 million followers, right? Even if you just want to say that 0.1% of your followers are watching for the wrong reasons, that's still 17,000 people. I feel like that should definitely be enough to worry someone when you bear in mind the autofills as well, the saves, all the stuff that we spoke about, the comments and whatnot. I feel like there should be more than enough for a mum to be like, right, okay, for the protection of my own child, I'm not going to put her online anymore. But no, that was not the case, and even though that big response video was uploaded in August of 2022, it's still happening to this day on the Ren Eleanor account. I mean, here's a video just from a couple of months ago. I'm not going to show it, right, but it's just the child, Ren, looking into the camera. That's basically it, and it's got 300,000 saves. And the comments are still filled with people worried, right? I mean, here's one saying the saves are a little concerning. No. 86.5k saves is crazy scary. I mean, it's way more than that now. 155k saves, again, it's way more than that now, but yes, it's extremely worrying, but she doesn't seem to care. I mean, I bet she's making a ridiculous amount of money. I also saw this clip on a TikTok account called Mum Uncharted, where she talks a lot about family vloggers and whatnot. I would highly recommend the page, actually. But in one of her videos, she shows a clip from a YouTube account called The Fish Fam, or something like that. You know, one of your classic family vloggers. And what she says in this is extremely worrying.
We get comments sometimes saying, why do you guys are just using your kids for money? Why do you exploit your kids like that? Like, that's dangerous with like pedophiles and things like that. And I just try not to think of it that way. I think there's people just put negative like on everything.
Just try not to think about it that way, you know, that'll solve the issue. I mean, what an extremely worrying mindset that is. And it becomes very clear that a lot of these creators just want to carry on uploading their videos because they're getting a lot of views, a lot of money and whatnot. And of course, they're aware of the dangers of doing this, but it just seems like they don't care. I mean, even though all the comments will tell them that it's a big worry and that it can be extremely dangerous for the children, they don't seem to care. Now, of course, within the last week or two, Michelle The Bartender has been getting a lot of hate for this video specifically, and she has actually recently, within the last 2 days, released a video talking about the haters.
I did not know that there was a formula for dealing with haters on the internet as a creator. This is something that they don't tell you and that I wish that I knew when I started creating content on TikTok. If you do a video and somebody is hating on you for it, so like they will stitch your video or duet it, or they just go on there and they screenshot your whole video. If that creator is much, much smaller than you, you ignore it.
Yeah, that's how it works, right? You don't have to bear in mind exactly what they're criticizing you for. You know, even if they're criticizing you for the fact that you might be putting your kids' safety in danger, you ignore it because they don't have as many followers as you. Nah, it's really good logic. Very, very good logic, Michelle.
If that creator is bigger than you are, you probably should address it. And you should stitch it.
Yeah, because everyone knows the more followers you have, the more your opinion matters. That's just how it works.
You need to do it in a classy way, though. You need to not talk crap about them. You need to understand their viewpoint and just address the conflict.
I mean, look, right, I get that just joking here, right? This is a joke, but it does seem like this is actually what she stands by. Because she really doesn't seem to hold anyone's opinions to a high level unless they have a stupid amount of followers. People have been telling her for months now that her videos are very, very dangerous for numerous amounts of reasons, and she just doesn't seem to care.
Either way, it doesn't really matter unless you let it affect you and your content and your life and your mood and your vibe. If addressing these commenters would hinder you from doing you, do not address them. At the end of the day, post what you want to post. Fuck the haters. Fuck them.
Fuck the haters, fuck them. I mean, it's a bizarre thing to just call them haters, especially when the vast majority of negative comments I see in Michelle's videos is worrying for her children's safety because of the video she posts. I wouldn't really call that hate, I would call that massive concern. But one thing I do want to mention at the end of this video to leave on a bit of a brighter note, it seems like certain states in America are starting to catch on with the fact that parents are starting to use their children for content. And it really is becoming a form of child labor at this point, right? I mean, the kids are basically actors that are on screen from like the minute they're born, basically. And the reason why these parents make so much money is because of the children. If it was just the parents, they wouldn't have anywhere near the size of audience that they do have. Well, it seems like a few laws are starting to take place that are going to protect the children a little bit. Not so much protecting them from being on film in the first place, but money-wise, it could protect them. Ohio representatives introduced legislation aimed at protecting kidfluencers. And it also seems like they're doing something similar in California, as we can see by this article. Now, they both differ slightly, but I would highly recommend reading into it if you do want to see the more specific details. But basically, it's been put in place to protect these kids who are being used for content on YouTube. And in the California one specifically, it says it's requiring content creators that feature minors in at least 30% of their content to set aside a proportionate percentage of their earnings in a trust for the minor to access when they reach adulthood. And also looking at a line from the legislation in Ohio, it says here, in addition, it would allow kids to sue their parents to access the money when they turn 18, and also let them request the removal of any content featuring their image or likeness. Now again, it's not going to protect them from being used in content in the first place, but I mean, it seems like they're catching on a little bit, and it seems like they are trying to change some things to protect the children a little bit more. And I mean, it's a step in the right direction, even if it is just a small one. But I do think over the next few years, there are going to be new laws and legislations put into place that are going to protect the children more, because this is just going to be an ever-growing business for families, right? It seems like a lot of families now, as soon as a child is born, they see it as like a business opportunity, and they start filming instantly, and it's mental. So who knows what will happen in a few years. Hopefully there'll be more protection put into place, but I mean, it's something at least. But either way, I am going to leave the video there. If you did enjoy, please leave a like down below, subscribe if you are new, let me know your thoughts as well in the comment section, and until the next one, I'll see you guys in a bit. Alright, goodbye.